All right. Welcome back, Admin Mastermind and Teach Better Family. We are back, Jeff and I, as we just finished the Admin Mastermind session. And man, Jeff, it was quite the conversation. As this year's gone, someone comes up with something they want to collaborate on, and we just roll with it for about 45 minutes.
Yeah, I'm beginning to think the time we put into creating a list of potential prompts and ideas and topics to talk about was a complete waste of time, for the best reason ever. Because the group's doing what it's supposed to do, which is be a space for school leaders to come to when they have an issue, to
Mhm.
feel comfortable and safe coming to. If they need to vent or bring an issue that they just feel like they are lost on, or not equipped to deal with, or just not
Yeah.
experienced it, or whatever. And it has been pretty consistent that we don't need to even share a prompt at all. I can't remember the last time we did, because we've just had the conversations that go really, really well, helping people mastermind through issues and stuff.
Yep.
This week was no different. So, which
No
is
different.
awesome.
Yeah. So, Jeff, someone posed a question about recess specifically,
Yes.
where they had a group of students just doing a very long list of negative behaviors.
Yeah.
Some of them were beyond just your typical behaviors, and also something that they were surprised about because it was kind of like this should be common sense not to
Well,
do X, Y, and Z.
yeah, and it sounded like the kids, like, they're not having many behavior issues in the classrooms, but then they go
Yep.
out to, I think she said it was more than 50, it was like 60, 70% of all their behavior issues are occurring at recess.
Hmm.
And kids that they don't really like, they're not the kids that that you would normally think might be causing behaviors. And so it's been kind
Yep.
of weird. And several things that they mentioned dangerous, like
Yes.
some physical issues, like a kid's getting hurt, and just the concern of kids not really actually enjoying recess and getting what they should be getting out of it. And so, yeah, so we talked about a lot of different ideas as far as splitting the recess area up into zones, and having the kids that are having issues with behavior to work through zones and keep them in certain zones. A little more organization on the recess to kind of help teach kids, this group, to like how to play properly and what's not good and what's not, and then talk about bringing the teachers into it as well with ideas that they have, and how can we balance this need for and utilizing the recess time to give the teachers some downtime, while also recognizing that we may have to put time into this. I think you said it, that look, the time's going to be pulled off us whether we like it or not, because the behavior issue is either going to happen, or we're going to do some work beforehand to try and stop the behavior issues. And so we talked a lot about that sort of reset that they can try to do with their teachers, and bringing their teachers in to get their ideas. Your classroom teachers know the students better than anyone, and bringing the support staff in as well. And then we got into a good conversation. This is where I kind of want to take our conversation right now, because I have you here. Is we got into a long time. She said this actually, and the member that they know that language, or that behavior is a language, which is like just Josh speaking basically. And we got into talk about that, like how do we approach that with the students and with our teachers and those that we serve. How do we help all of us be better at recognizing that and approaching that? So, can you speak a little bit on to some of the conversation that we had around the aspect of the SEL piece of it, the trauma informed piece of it, the behavior as a language piece of it, if you will?
Yeah. No, I think there was a lot of components that were discussed, and you did a great job of kind of outlining that because there's definitely a staff component of that, of kind of changing mindsets of, you know, like you said, the time's going to be spent either on the proactive side of things and teaching the behaviors that we want, or on the reactive side of these terrible things have occurred, and now we need to, go in and provide consequences, and then do the teach piece in addition. So, where do you want to spend your time? So we definitely talked about kind of like massaging that mindset with our staff, and also just kind of like the layout of that. Right? Obviously, we have a pressing situation that's occurring right now that's based on student safety. So this is not something that can be a long term solution. Something needs to be done tomorrow or today, in regards to, like you said, the zones. But then also on the other end of it is like that teach piece, right? So we talked about the social emotional learning component of it, right? So like where in the schedule is being, where the teacher is actually teaching, you know, empathy, or just some of these like future ready skills that our kids need to have, because we can't assume that they possess these skills. Obviously, they don't have the skills because of the different examples of occurring that's on recess. But then also like as far as the language of behavior, like letting the staff understand like there's something deeper going on. Obviously, the pandemic occurred, and we talked about this too, as far as like the way that we learn how to play is different than the students today, right? A lot of them had very structured during the pandemic time of play, where it was an adult that was one on one and providing a very structured environment for them to do a variety of different things, activities, right? Now you're independently allowing them to go out with 50 different kids and independently play without any structures at all. And then they're surprised that there's something that, is terrible that has occurred when that's really not a learned environment, right? So for us, it was jumping on our bikes and rolling to the park and no adults there and there's 50 kids and we're learning through that experience, right? Where that was just not available to them due to the pandemic. So it's just kind of like trying to lay out everything to then be able to communicate to the staff. And then also the fact like I did this with my staff is pulling stories, even if you're in an affluent school of like it doesn't matter of race, religion, economic status, like bad things happen to our kids every day. And a lot of times our teachers just assume that, they're all good. They come into our classroom and they're ready to learn. And math or English or science is the most important thing in their life. But in turn, like that's not true. Some of them are just trying to survive. And there's some really terrible things that as administrators or counselors find out, and not to name names or call kids out, but to be able to do it in a way to say, hey, we have um, a certain percentage that are homeless that don't know where they're going to eat or sleep or get their clothes for the next day, and we need to be aware of that. We also have, and literally telling stories without naming names to let them understand, like our kids are going through something and we need to have the emotional capacity to understand that and then provide the support system in school because that's what we have control over. A lot of times when we're talking about the behaviors, our teachers or our administrators want to talk about all the things we can't control, right? Oh, it's the parents' fault, X, Y, and Z is occurring, and that's what we want to focus on. But as a school and as a school district, we can't change those things, but we can change what we have power over, which is the school day. So what are we doing within that space to then not only teach the behavior, but then have a nurturing environment for them to provide the resources and give them what they need so that they are able to learn. Because sometimes our kids are just not in the mental space to be able to do many things. And so what are we going to do within that construct?
Yeah, and it really was just about digging deeper and finding what is the root cause of the things that we're seeing, the behavior and the actions that we're seeing. And then to your point of finding like this balance of maybe restructuring things out on recess and the way we
Yep.
approach it and where some students are or what they, how things happen when issues occur, while also focusing on the fact that like to your point, digging into the stories and understand well, where are they coming from and what are they trying to say with these things that they're doing that just seem so out of character, like what's going on and how do we better, to your point, not only address the behavior issues, but then more so address the culture piece, the SEL piece, the foundation of giving the students a place where they can come and have the support that they need for all the stuff that they're going through and stuff. So great conversation. I love when the group comes together like this and the person who brings the issue when they came in felt or conveyed that they felt not necessarily hopeless, but like definitely overwhelmed and definitely struggling. And then at the end, by the end of it, they're like, the problem's still there. Nothing's changed. Problem still it is what it is, but they're breathing differently and they're ready to go tackle. And they're like, all right, I have ideas now. I know what I'm going to go try. I have a bunch of ideas to bring to my staff. I'm going to talk to my staff and get their ideas. I'm feeling like I can tackle this thing now. Is that's what this administrator mastermind group is supposed to do. So when it does it,
Yeah.
Josh, it's awesome. This was another awesome week of that. So with that said, if you have not been joining us, you can for free every Tuesday at 9 a.m. Eastern time. It's always free. If you go to teachbetter.com/mastermind, you can sign up and get the Zoom link for free that we use. Um, that'll get you reminders every week as well. We always say this, you don't have to come every week. You can come when you want, come when you can. You can come midway through, halfway through with 5 minutes left. It doesn't matter. Show up when you can. We know you're busy. The meetings there every week for you as you needed. But also, when you sign up and register, you're also going to get access to the free Facebook group that we have, the private Facebook group that we have for all the needs that you have between Tuesdays. Or if you can't make Tuesday meetings, you can be in there because everyone that signs up is in there. It's a great place to drop the same type of issues or conversations or resources as well. So
Yeah.
teachbetter.com/mastermind for all of that. Josh, any last minute words?
No, I just the group is phenomenal, and like you said, this conversation isn't ending, right? This administrator is having folks reach out to them to provide additional resources and suggestions. So, like, yes, we spent 45 minutes, but it doesn't stop there. And I know next week we're going to check in. We're going to see what's going on because it's an ongoing thing. It's I was trying to say it's these initiatives in this mindset is not going to happen overnight. Sometimes it does take 3 years, 4 years. So I know that's disheartening sometimes to hear because it's such a long period of time, but it does take a long term plan. Obviously, we need to address it tomorrow or today, but we also have to understand that this is a marathon, not a sprint, and this group is here for you to cheer you on, to help support you, to coach you, to do what you need to get through that race. And I just love this group so much.
Yeah, I love it. And with that, I think we're wrapped. We'll see you all next week. Appreciate y'all.